Over many years in the past, there's a lot of people in the community that feel that the 10th Ward has been greatly neglected in the past. What is your opinion with regard to what the new mayor feels about this area?
Well, I think Ted can speak to this too. As a lifelong resident, the area has been known as an industrial area, and I think this mayor, as of the past, recognized the value of industry and that we have to maintain the base that we have in the city and in the country and try to expand it. But I think our history allows us to really focus on the industrial attractiveness of the area. And he realizes and has been supportive of some of the issues or items you mentioned earlier. So I think he has a focus on there. He has a focus on all the neighborhoods because he realizes that all the neighborhoods really have to be successful for the city as a whole to be successful, and realizes what kind of potential exists in each neighborhood. And ours, quite honestly, we're not going to see a lot of residential development. Even during the boom of the residential time, we did not have a lot of new residential starts. But we have a lot of amenities that allow for industrial development and expansion, and I think that's where we have to focus, and I think that's where the mayor is too, understanding that the industrial corridor in the 10th Ward is crucial and has much opportunity, and he, like myself and Ted, want to focus on maximizing that.
Right. Well, speaking of the industrial corridor, Mr. Stalnos, thank you very much for being here.
I'm happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
My first question would be, how long have you been president of the CAIC, and what's the role of the CAIC?
I've been president of the Calumet Area Industrial Commission for 3 years. The mission of the organization, which has been around since 1967, is to promote retention and attraction of industry in the greater Calumet area. So everything that can be done to support industry's efforts to find it an attractive place to locate and hire employees that build our economy is what the Commission's goal is all about.
And how do you feel now about so much industrial activity happening as of late? It seems that for so long, so much land has been underutilized, and being a resident myself, driving around, it's nice to see a lot of the activity going on. It seems that we're finally getting some major people to take a look at our area.
Well, I feel blessed. As John said, I've lived in the area all my life, and I explained this once before. I feel like Lazarus watching the dead come back up again. And unfortunately, in the 1980s, I worked with the Steelworkers Union to put a lot of people back in trying to find work in different areas and different communities. Luckily, the Chicagoland area is very diverse, and a lot of people went in the service sector and the healthcare sector, and those are all important components of our economy. But the one thing that still remains is that manufacturing, by and large, and there's empirical data to support this, is the best paying, best benefit package, what I consider meaningful employment with benefits that you can raise families with. And we're fortunate enough to be in an area that supports industry like that and these type of jobs. So I'm ecstatic, without going, without jumping up in the air here, but my feeling is this is fantastic. Right. It's fantastic for all concerned.
Right, I agree. What role does CAIC play with regard to all this business growth, and also the Alderman's office? You know, feel free to let us know. How are you involved in the actual process by which businesses may require about the land or go through the process?
We keep an inventory of the available land as it becomes available, and constantly changing that. We work with the real estate brokers and people that are calling in from around the country that are interested in certain sections of land, looking at, some are just looking for a place to pop up a sign and do business and be happy to truck their stuff in and out. Others are going to be far more specific, where their needs are going to be needing maritime, both water access and rail access, and so we try to make those matches, and also working, of course, with the Alderman to make sure it's a good fit with what other plans are being done in the ward, and not to contradict anything. So, you know, and we have the planned manufacturing development centers and the industrial corridor. So there is a defined pattern of where industry, you know, should be. And being a community resident, I appreciate that, because I think that the corridors separating industry from residents somewhat it makes sense. It just makes sense. We don't want trucks going down side streets and things like that.
Right.